Hi everyone, Jean Bromage of Reiki Essence Healing Arts. And today I'd like to share some reflections about the powerful shifts happening in the energetic field this week, as well as take you through a guided meditation. This week is probably one of the most significant weeks of this year, as well as within our lifetime. All of the intuitive systems that are out there are pointing to some very real paradigm shifts that are happening. And we can already feel that happening in the collective. A lot of it is not easy, but it is also breaking things open for new light to come in, for us to work with, and to bring an anchor within our being, and anchor within our life experience, and to give this new light shape or form in whatever manner is aligned with our soul's journey. So, tomorrow we have the Lunar New Year. We are shifting out of the year of the water snake, which has been very slow moving energy. It's all about that gentle release and dissolving of what is no longer serving us, and shifting into a more high voltage energy of fire with the fire horse. So this is opening up to breakthroughs and finding freedom and sovereignty within ourselves. That is also being supported by this Neptune Saturn conjunction that's happening on Friday, February 20th, in 0 degrees of Aries, which is also a fire sign. This is also the starting point of the astrological calendar. So there's some real big significance with all of these patterns coming online in the unconscious collective psyche. And so while all of these thoughts and reflections can be wonderful and interesting, how do you apply that to your life? Some of you really might not be able to relate to these ideas of hope and courage and fire and passion and freedom because you're being bogged down by a traumatic experience or a loss or a struggle that you're going through. So, how can those energies really come through to support you? And then for those of you who are coming through a dark tunnel, maybe you've gone through a dark night in recent years. We've had collective struggle and chaos over the last 5 to 6 years. And so now you're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And so maybe you can relate more to these thought forms and ideas that are coming through as we discuss these patterns that are happening in both the astrological systems of both the Chinese calendar and the Western astrology. So, how do we work with it no matter where you are on the spectrum with your life, whether you're going through a really dark, hard time or you're ready for a breakthrough and something new? And so, I'd like to talk about how all the elements are working for us at this time. So, while yes, there's a lot of fire in the conversation, this new moon this week is actually happening in Aquarius. And Aquarius is the big picture, the big vision, and how that vision works within community, unity, the greater whole. And so that's at the very final degree of Aquarius, which is big vision. This is also about service, how our ideas serve the greater whole, the greater good. Um, so that's the element of air, right? And then we have, of course, the fire horse. We have this Aries energy that Saturn and Neptune are dancing with, as well as some of the other planets. And then we also have the energies, though Saturn and Neptune aren't aligned with fire. Saturn is a very earthy, heavier energy that gives shape and form to our ideas, anchors us into our being, and challenges us to work through whatever obstacles are in our way. So Saturn's bringing Earth energy to the conversation, even though we're at 0 degrees of Aries. And then you have Neptune, and Neptune is all about water. So Neptune is the great vast ocean and how we swim in that vast ocean. And Neptune is the mystic. It's about our dreams, but it's also about where do we get blindsided by our fantasies or the projections we put onto others. Um, a lot of secrets are going to be emerging from bigger leaders, people in power, and so that's going to create a sense of disillusionment. I mean, we're already experiencing that. Neptune just transited through Pisces. So it really is about disillusionment and where where our blind spots are in life with our fantasies and projections on other people. However, the light side of Neptune is all about your mystical side, your soul and your connection with spirit and how you're co-creating with spirit. And so how can you bring so Saturn and Neptune, they rarely ever come together. It's like every 35, 40 years that they conjunct and come together in the sky. And never in written human history have they come together at 0 degrees of Aries. And the last time this happened was in 1989 when the Berlin, like literally the same week, that conjunction happened when the Berlin Wall came down. So there was a big paradigm shift on the global stage happening. In the 1960s, 65, 66, there was a cultural revolution that happened around the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So really, this moment in time is igniting paradigm shifts, both in the collective and then what it means for you. And so, in this guided meditation, I'd like us to connect with the 4 elements that are coming together this week, the elements of energy, to help us anchor within our being, the Saturn energy, the Earth, and to soften into what is happening in our lives. So again, whether you're going through a struggle or you're ready for a breakthrough, how can you ease into it and show yourself some grace? Because that is also the energy of Neptune, the mystic, is it's about anchoring grace into our being and to recognize that we're enough no matter what, and to use that healing energy to be able to soften and go with the flow of life. That's the water. The energy of water is about going with the flow. And then to also work with air to see the bigger picture, to perceive the bigger picture. So when we get triggered with fear and worry in our minds, because that's also the mental plane with air, then to take those, to use the bigger picture, the bigger perspective on everything, to see what's at play, even when there's a harsh energy coming in, when there's, when we're horrified by what's going on in the world, that we then step back to see the bigger picture, to create greater, more expansive understanding for both ourselves and the collective. And then to work with the energy of fire. So how is fire going to nourish you without burning you out, without frying you? How can you use the warmth of fire to sustain you? And how can you use fire to allow courage to forge ahead into new territory, maybe the unfamiliar? How can you use fire to create new passions within yourself and new ideas and new creativity? And if you're not really ready to get into the flow of creativity, then perhaps it's just about asking the element of fire to just replenish your energy as you're trying to navigate uncertainty in your life, and to also give you that courage to face whatever it is you need to face this year. So with that, I'm going to invite you to gently drop your eyelids and take a nice deep inhale through the nose and a nice cleansing exhale. Another deep inhale. And on the exhale, to just gently invite any places of tension to release and relax. And another deep inhale. And on the exhale, just allowing any excess energy to move down your body and out through the soles of your feet. And now I invite you to imagine yourself walking through a forest. And it's early morning, and the sunlight is coming through the trees, and you can see the floor of the forest just beginning to gently light up. And you just notice the dance of the light and the shadow as you walk along the pathway, and just take in what kind of forest this is for you. Is there the scent of pine, or is the forest floor still kind of frozen with the winter season, or is it muddy? Is it mud luscious and soft? Is there a softening starting to happen under your feet? And just continue to make your way through the forest. And you feel the coolness on your face, but the warmth of the sun is melting that coolness. And then you arrive at the edge of a lake. And in the opening by the lake, there's a bonfire going. And you realize that this bonfire was lit for you. And so you sit on the rock in front of this bonfire. And just make note, how big is the fire? Perhaps it's a small and very contained fire, or perhaps it's a really nice, big, healthy, expansive bonfire, that's expansive and still yet feels safe. And so you just sit and you receive the warmth of this fire and just begin to feel it move down your crown and down your body until it fills your whole body with this warmth. And the warmth of this fire is enabling you to continue to sit in this cool environment, this late winter environment, and still feel comfortable. And then you find yourself gazing out at the lake and connecting with the flow of the water. So just notice the lake. Is it calm? Is it flowing gently? Is there a ripple on the surface? Or perhaps there are bigger waves. So just connect with the way the water is flowing at this time and how that relates to you in your life. Perhaps you're navigating rough waters, and so is the lake mirroring that for you. Or perhaps you're ready for crystal clear clarity and the lake is smooth, almost as if you were to gaze down at the lake and see clearly what's underneath the surface. Perhaps you're gaining clarity on where you have been illusioned this past year and you're ready to shift into greater truth. Either way, just ask yourself, how can you go with the flow more this year? How can you soften within your heart? Show yourself some grace and just soften in your heart to be in that space of allowing what is, and to allow yourself to receive what blessings, what support from Spirit are coming your way. And so as you balance these energies of both fire and water within your being, you feel the presence of an animal enter your area, and you look up and you see that it's a deer. And in the Mayan calendar, this year is the year of the deer, which is a very soft, gentle, and peaceful energy. And the deer also is of the earth. And so the deer is presenting you and attuning you to the energy of earth and the energy of your body, anchoring into your body, finding safety within your body, feeling at peace and at ease within your body. And the deer energy is reminding you that even if the world around you is chaotic, there's too much fire, if there's too much craziness or hardship going on in your life, that you can always find safety within yourself and to always return back to your center and to ground into yourself. And even if you're navigating health challenges and your body's been maybe not the best place to be in these days, then how can you anchor into your body and build a new relationship with your body so that you can feel grounded and safe? And then we call in the air element, I'm going to invite you now to just focus on your third eye and just envision a light on your third eye. And with this growing light, it expands out, and just in that opening of this energy center, just think about where your thoughts go these days and how you can invite in new perspectives, new ideas to help you to see the bigger picture, to be able to see what's around the corner, and to be able to actually take a neutral stance. So, while, yes, it's important to acknowledge where we're struggling, and it's great to be joyful and excited about things. When you can come to your neutrality, then you can ground into your center and take all of it in and allow all of it to be here, and to know that both the struggle and the joy provide nourishment for us. And so being able to see the bigger picture helps us to come to our neutral space. And so now, as we've connected with all four of these elements, just take a moment and consider what element you need the most right now Perhaps you're feeling scattered and all over the place and you need some more grounding. Or perhaps you need to let go of the struggle and just go with the flow and trust that the water is carrying you where you need to go. Or perhaps you just need more energy and inspiration, and so fire is what you're calling more of in. Or perhaps it's that you have to step back and take in the bigger picture to gain new perspective. So before we close this meditation, just really ask yourself which element you need more of at this time. Perhaps there are two elements that you need to work with. Or maybe it's just about coming into harmony with all four of the elements. So just thanking the dear spirit for its presence with you, for helping you to anchor into your being. If any other spirit guides appeared in this space, thank them for their presence. Just taking a moment to bow to the four elements. And because without those four elements, life as we know it couldn't exist. And taking a moment to honor that. And then when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, coming back to the current time and space. So I want to thank you for allowing me to guide you through this meditation. And whether or not you are celebrating the Lunar New Year, or you are taking time to consider what's happening with these bigger energies coming online, I wish you many blessings at this new moon this week, and I will see you at the full moon in a couple of weeks. And also this week, in honor of both the new moon, the Lunar New Year, and the Saturn Neptune Conjunction, I am hosting here in New York City a energy reset circle. Each month we gather to reset our energy, replenish it, to refocus, and to come back to our vibrant state of being. And this month, one of my Reiki Master graduates, Mary, is going to take you through a guided meditation on what it means to go through a paradigm shift, to really have your perception, shifted and changed, and that's going to impact you for the greater good, for your greater good, the greater good of the whole. So we are going to be exploring what it means to go through a paradigm shift. Then I am going to talk and work with the energies of the Saturn Neptune conjunction. We're going to do some breath work, and we're going to do a short ritual to so that each of you can spark new energy to support you at the beginning of this Lunar New Year. So I hope you can join me if you're in New York City. The link to register is in the comments. And I will see you in a couple of weeks for the full moon. Take care. Bye-bye.